TED Talk.
My name's Allie.
My name's Daniela.
I'm Bianca, and this is our TED Talk.
About gender roles and stereotypes.
So as Daniela said before, our TED Talk is about negative stereotypes and gender roles. Society has heavily implemented these negative norms because it's just the way that most people saw each other as. It has not only shaken our self-confidence, but it has also given us a negative perspective of one another. Today, women are seen as weak and vulnerable, whereas men are seen as tall, buff, and strong. But it's not always like that. It could be the other way around. It could be flipped around, but most people don't like to see it that way. Throughout the years, gender stereotypes and gender roles have been changing, but are still kind of the same. For example, before, women were told that they couldn't do certain jobs because it was seen as a man's job, as in factory work or any heavy duty or being the boss of something. And today, it's still seen that way. There's so many cases where men get a higher raise, a higher paying job over a woman because she's a woman. A woman with a college degree could be denied a job than a man with little experience. Even before, when the men came home from war, the women who were working the man's job were fired or they had to quit because the men were back, so it's their job and women are no longer capable of doing it. 1990 was titled Year of Women, and this was because women's work participation went up 64%, whereas men's work participation went down 74%. Women took over, and honestly, they should have a long time ago, because we can do literally everything that a man can do, if not better. But besides that, there are support groups and things that build up confidence, not just for women, for men, and for people who also are confused or know what their sexuality is, whether it be gay, straight, bi, anything. There are things for that.
Gender roles and stereotypes have changed during the years, from then and now. As of now, you can see that people are fluid with their sexuality preferences. Some classify as bisexual, pansexual, straight, and so many more. People do accept this, which is really great. But the one thing that is also really great is that not only people accept this, but places too. Places like San Francisco, Sacramento, Fremont, Oakland, they host pride parades that welcome you into the LGBTQ community and say that it's okay to be who you are. Some shows like Steven Universe show heterosexual women being free, who they want to be. There are other many shows like Supergirl and Sailor Moon, which are gender breaking, showing women their independence and their strength and choice on sexuality. But what about men? Shows like RuPaul's Drag Race feature men dressing up as women, how they feel comfortable in, and shows like Pose also show men dressing up in drag. During the AIDS epidemic, where people were not accepting and was truly disgusting and horrible. Time has passed, and I do believe there will be people who do watch the show and are accepting of this idea, but there will be people who are still stuck on the idea that women should be feminine, fair, and somewhat submissive to the men, while men should be strong, masculine, and dominant towards the women. And I think that should change. I believe that people should change their ideas, that people should be able to dress how they want to be, how they feel. Time has changed, and I do believe people should change this idea. People should be able to be dressed how they want to be, either masculine, feminine, or whichever one, to just be comfortable in their own clothes, and to show who they are, not only on the outside, but on the inside too. After shows and personal opinions, there are real life experiences that lead up to more things.
As Dani said, there are many other ways besides TV shows and movies and the entertainment-wise that shows how gender stereotypes have changed over the years. And I believe that everyone belongs in a place where everyone is treated equally, and everyone is treated equally in the workplace, out in public in the community they live in. Like if they have a group like an LGBTQ plus support group that they could go to that could help them understand that like it's okay to be who you are, and it's okay to love someone else, and it's okay to be someone that you've always wanted to be, whether it's gender or whether it's how you want to look. There should always be support groups to help people understand that it is okay to be someone that you weren't born, or the body you weren't born in. Like it is okay to feel that you belong somewhere, and everyone should feel like they belong. And as I was saying, like a support group, they need to be enforced in schools and communities. For example, our school has one, and I feel like it is amazing that we have one here. They have some in Fremont, they have some in different areas, but there needs to be at least one area everyone could go to that they feel like they belong in the world, and they feel like they are equal to everyone else. There are many other things you could like go to that are in this area, like Pride or a women's march. They have some in DC, they have some in California, they have many across the country. There has at least been one in every state across the US. Everyone, again, as I was saying a million times before, everyone should feel like they belong, and I feel like at these marches they're peaceful ways to show others how they belong. As I said before, there are like other things like women's marches to show how everyone should feel like they belong, even in like a situation like now where even some women are treated equally as men, but it's very rare to find that. So at women's marches, they show how women protest that everyone should be equal, and we should not get our rights stripped away just because of what our gender is, and it's just not fair. It's not fair at all. And lastly, I would like to say how there should be groups, like for example in like high schools, in elementary schools and junior highs, there needs to be a class teaching kids how gender stereotypes can affect someone extremely, even if it's a small class, even if it's for 15 minutes, even if it's at one school. It starts something that could go across the country, and it could start something big.
And this is our TED Talk. Bye!
Wait,